The movie begins on a night that should be filled with celebration, but is instead marked by desperation and loneliness. We meet Josie, a woman sitting by a hospital bed, holding a glass of wine. It is New Year's Eve. Beside her lies her husband Leo, who is in a deep coma following a terrible accident. While the rest of the world counts down the seconds to the future, Josie feels trapped in the past, as the clock strikes midnight, signaling the start of a new year. Josie makes a drunken, desperate decision. Consumed by the fear that she will never have a family, she decides to take matters into her own hands. In a scene that is both tragic and bizarre, she climbs on top of her comatose husband and attempts to be intimate with him, trying to conceive a child. However, she is not as alone as she thinks. The hospital room is monitored. In the security room, doctors and nurses watch the CCTV feed in disbelief. They see a grieving wife acting out in a way that looks like madness. To them, she is just a woman who has lost her mind due to grief. But to Josie, this is a final attempt to salvage a future from a hopeless situation. The next day, reality sets in. Josie returns to her husband's bedside. A fertility doctor approaches her. The doctor, having seen the footage or reviewed Leo's file, delivers crushing news. She explains that due to the trauma in his condition, Leo has poor morphology and no mortality regarding his reproductive capabilities. In simple terms, it is biologically impossible for Josie to get pregnant by him naturally. Josie is devastated. The last hope of keeping a piece of her husband alive seems to be gone. However, not everyone at the hospital agrees. Enter Dr. Jameson. He is a man of ambition and questionable ethics. He has been conducting secret research on comatose patients, looking for a way to create life where there is none. He sees Josie not as a crazy woman, but as an opportunity. He calls Josie and tells her there is a way. He invites her to room 402. When she arrives, Dr. Jameson shows her a video presentation of his research. He explains a revolutionary, albeit controversial, procedure. He claims that by taking DNA from a comatose or dying man and combining it with an egg, they can create a child. This child wouldn't just be a son. He would be a genetic replica of the father. A clone. Josie listens, mesmerized. The idea of having a child who is exactly like Leo is too tempting to resist. She accepts the idea in her heart immediately. She goes home and looks through old memories and videos of Leo before the accident. She stays by his side, comforting him, fueled by this new secret hope. Following Dr. Jameson's instructions, Josie extracts a DNA sample from inside Leo's mouth. She takes it to the doctor, ready to begin. This is a historic moment for Jameson. It is his first human trial. Neither the doctor nor the grieving wife knows exactly what the consequences will be. The fertilization is successful, and miraculously, Josie becomes pregnant. Months pass, and the plan seems to work perfectly. Josie gives birth to a healthy baby boy. For a while, life is bittersweet. She has her son, the perfect image of her husband. But Leo remains asleep in his hospital bed, unaware that he has been cloned. Time moves forward. One day, deep within his subconscious, Leo begins to dream. It is a terrifying nightmare. In the dream, Leo is lying in a coffin, paralyzed. Sitting on his chest is a small child. The child stares at him with intense, demanding eyes and whispers, "Give me your strength. Give me your soul." The fear is primal. It jolts Leo's system. After years of silence, Leo wakes up. The coma is broken. The doctors are astounded, so they call Josie immediately. She rushes to the hospital, overwhelmed with shock and joy. Her husband has returned from the dead. Leo recovers remarkably fast. He is discharged and returns home to resume his life. He sleeps in the same bed with his wife, trying to return to normalcy. But the secret of what Josie did hangs over them. The next day, Josie decides it is time. She introduces Leo to the child he fathered while in a coma. She shows him baby Eddie. Leo should be happy, but the moment he sees the child, a piercing pain shoots through his head. Along with the pain comes a horrifying vision. He sees a child trying to kill him and steal his wife. The connection between the clone and the original has been forged, and it is violent. Life with the baby becomes a nightmare for Leo. He suffers from debilitating headaches every day. He can't focus on his work. To cope, he starts drawing the images that flash into his mind. His sketchbook fills with disturbing dark drawings of a child threatening him. He hides this from Josie, not wanting to worry her, and goes to work every day in pain. Josie, however, notices that something is wrong. Leo is distant and strange. One day, she finds his sketchbook. She is horrified by the violent imagery and the scrawled words. Desperate for answers, she goes to Dr. Jameson. They try to figure out what is happening, but even the doctor is in uncharted territory. Leo's condition worsens. One afternoon, amidst a blinding headache, he has a hallucination of being in a surgery room. He sees a doctor surgically removing his face. Josie realizes. The headaches are connected to Eddie. She invites Dr. Jameson to the house to discuss what to do. She thinks Leo is at work, but fate intervenes. Leo, unable to work due to the pain, comes home early. Leo enters the house silently. He hears voices upstairs. He creeps up and listens outside the door. He hears Josie and another man talking about the baby and secrets. Leo misunderstands everything. He doesn't know about the cloning. He assumes Josie had an affair with the doctor while he was in a coma, and that Eddie is the doctor's illegitimate son. Rage takes over. Leo bursts into the room and attacks Dr. Jameson with his cane. Beating him viciously, Jameson manages to escape the house without explaining the truth. Leo turns his anger on Josie. He accuses her of cheating. However, because he loves her, he says he forgives her, but there is one condition. They must get rid of the child. He cannot live with the proof of her betrayal. Dr. Jameson, realizing his illegal experiment is about to be exposed or destroyed, packs his files and flees town. Leaving Josie alone to deal with the fallout, Josie and Leo come to a dark agreement. To save their marriage, they must dispose of Eddie. Josie places the baby in the car. Leo drives them out to a desolate stretch of woods, far from civilization. He takes the baby carrier and walks into the trees. Leo intends to kill the child and bury him. He raises a shovel, ready to strike. But when he looks at the baby, he hesitates. He cannot bring himself to commit murder in cold blood. Instead, he chooses a different kind of cruelty. He leaves the baby there, alone in the wild, and returns to the car. He tells Josie it is done. Later that night, Dr. Jameson returns looking for the child. He finds Josie in a state of total despair. He asks where the baby is. Josie, broken, simply tells him that her husband take the baby toward the woods. Jameson rushes to the forest, searching in the dark, but it is too late. The baby is gone. He assumes the worst and apologizes to Josie for everything. We jump forward 23 years. Josie and Leo have moved past the tragedy. They are older now, living a wealthy, comfortable life in a beautiful new house. They seem happy, having buried their secrets in the past. One morning, their dog goes missing. They search the nearby beach and find the dog with a young man who is swimming in the sea. The young man tries to stop them, claiming the dog is his. But he finds a check that belonged to Leo family. This young man is Eddie. He survived, and he has found them. Eddie is not just a stranger. He is obsessed. He uses the internet to track Josie and Leo. He studies their lives. The next day, Josie is at home trying to fix a facility issue in the new house. She is calling repairmen, but while she is calling, she sees the young man from the beach standing outside her door. She invites him in. Eddie puts on a charming act. He apologizes for being rude at the beach. He says he wants to make it up to them by working. He offers to fix the repairs she needs. Josie, not recognizing her own son, feels sympathy for him. She hires him and even offers him a place to stay and food to eat. Leo turns home at night. In the morning, Eddie walking around Leo's house as if he owns it. Eddie is looking at Leo's architectural drawings with a strange familiarity, but as soon as Leo see the boy, he got angry. So Leo tried to kick him out. Eddie explained that his wife hired him, but Leo still shouted him to leave his house. Eddie reacts with sudden, explosive anger, throwing things and storming off. Leo scolds Josie for letting a stranger into their home. But Eddie doesn't give up. He is watching them. He finds old home videos of Josie and Leo and watches them obsessively, studying their mannerisms and their past. The next day, Eddie calls Josie. He apologizes and asks to finish the work he started. Josie, feeling guilty and perhaps feeling a subconscious connection, agrees. Eddie returns. That night, a group of local thugs harasses the house. Eddie steps up to defend Josie. He fights them off brutally, getting injured in the process. Josie tends to his wounds. In the heat of the moment, surrounded by adrenaline and loneliness as Leo is out drinking with friends, lines are crossed. Josie, feeling a strange attraction to this young man who looks so much like her husband once did. So she sleeps with him without knowing Eddie is her biological son. The next morning, Josie wakes up from a dream where she is pregnant again. The guilt hits her instantly. She realizes she has made a terrible mistake. So she decided to distance herself. She locked all the doors, but Eddie is deluded. He believes Josie loves him. He breaks back into the house that night and sleeps next to her. When Josie wakes up and finds him there, she screams at him to leave. Eddie, lacking social understanding and fueled by rejection, flies into a rage. He destroys furniture and items in the room before storming out. Josie is terrified. She cleans up the mess, changes the sheets, and tries to hide all evidence of Eddie's presence before Leo comes home. She prepares a birthday cake for Leo, trying to pretend Leo returns and notices the well outside has been fixed. He calls the original repairman he hired, who tells him he never showed up. Leo realizes Josie brought the boy back against his wishes. He argues with her, criticizing her for disobeying him. He's completely unaware of the much darker secret she is hiding. We switch to Eddie's perspective. While ransacking through digital files and videos, he finds something that changes everything. He watches a video from 23 years ago. In it, Dr. Jameson and Josie are looking at a newborn baby. The realization shatters Eddie. Josie isn't just a lover or an employer. She is his mother. Needing confirmation, Eddie goes to Dr. Jameson's house. The old doctor has kept records. Eddie watches tape after tape, learning the truth about his creation. He realizes he is a clone, an experiment, a copy of Leo designed to replace him. Armed with this knowledge, Eddie snaps. He goes back to Josie's house at night. He watches them. The next morning, he enters the house from the back. He confronts Josie. He kisses her aggressively, shaking her, screaming, "Don't you recognize me?" He tries to force her to see the truth. Josie is terrified. She thinks she is being assaulted. She screams for Leo. Leo hears her cries and rushes into the room. He sees the young man attacking his wife. Without hesitation, Leo grabs a metal rod and strikes Eddie over the head. Eddie collapses, unconscious. Josie leans over the unconscious body of Eddie to check if he is alive. As she moves him, she sees a birthmark on his neck, the exact same birthmark her baby son had. She then checks his pockets and finds the old photograph of herself and Dr. Jameson. The truth hits her. She turns to Leo, demanding answers. She asks if he really killed the baby all those years ago. Under pressure, Leo confesses. He admits he didn't bury the child. He left him in the woods alive. They realize they need to be sure. They leave the unconscious Eddie in the house and drive out to the woods to dig up the spot where Leo supposedly left the baby. While they are gone, Eddie wakes up. In the woods, Josie and Leo dig. They find nothing. No bones, no remains. Leo looks at Josie. The pieces fit together. He realizes Eddie is his son. He starts asking strange questions, realizing that Eddie looks exactly like him. Josie cries, unable to speak, confirming the truth. While Leo and Josie are in the woods processing this horror, Eddie has followed them. He arrives in a car, carrying a knife. He'd go into the woods, fueled by a lifetime of abandonment and the desire to take his rightful place. When he finds Leo, he attacks immediately. Eddie stabs Leo several times. As the knife enters, a strange metaphysical event occurs, a transfer of energy, fulfilling the nightmare from the beginning of the movie. Leo dies on the forest floor. Josie witnesses the murder of her husband. she runs back to the house. She locks every door and window. She grabs a knife and sits in the room waiting. Knowing the monster she created is coming for her, Eddie calmly buries Leo's body in the hole they just dug. The movie ends with a chilling time jump. Months later, we see Eddie in the city. He is well-dressed, working a good job, and seemingly living a successful life. He has effectively replaced Leo, but Josie become a patient in mental hospital. She is now holding a baby whose father is Eddie. She has completely lost her mind, trapped in the cycle of her own making. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this recap, please keep in touch. See you in next movie.